We good now. Ok, ça tourne. Ok, Liz Vice in the gram. Uh, the sound table. New episode. I'm really excited. Can't speak no more. I'm really thrilled. I'm really excited. Je suis très enjoué, très heureux de recevoir pour la première fois sur Lyon une artiste que je viens de rencontrer, a new musician artist that I just met on a music convention, thanks to a friend of mine. Shout out to Bruno. Um, she comes from Portland. She's been in and out, east and west, London, New York, you name it, and now she's here in France, Lyon. She got some good news to bring with her and to bring for us, like new music. Um, in her story, she says that she's the kind of woman that, well, she's a woman that, and she's never been the same from, I don't know, we're gonna see the story, we're gonna, dig and take a little deep into the storyline of a new music. Welcome here, welcome in France, welcome in Lyon, Liz Weiss, my pleasure.
Bonjour tout le monde. That is the extent of my French. I mean, I can speak a little.
We won't challenge you. We won't
Thank
challenge
you.
But thank you for coming in.
Bien sûr.
Like I said in the intro, we just met. Well, it was kind of a random way to meet because you came for a convention. It was the end of the day, but fortunately, you went with a musician from here, Bruno, great guitarist from Coffee Tone, and he introduced us to each other.
Mhm.
And it was really my pleasure to meet you, to hear your story. So thank you for coming. Thank you for your time. And how do you feel today? Um, you can say you're tired because I know that you
Sweaty.
sweaty. It's getting hot in here.
It's hot. And I walked here because, when I can, I just love to walk.
Hmm.
I am tired. I'm jet lagged. I just got back from New York. My
Yeah.
friend had a birthday party
Hmm.
and she rented out a venue and she wanted me to perform. And it was incredible.
Really?
It was so fun.
Okay.
And I was up until like 4 a.m. and
Wow.
then woke up at 7 a.m. to go sing at church the next day.
Wow.
Yeah. So
Brave.
brave or crazy or unhealthy. I don't know what the word is.
All right. And so, yeah, you landed back in here like 2 days ago.
What?
I've heard, I've seen you two been on a few jam sessions
Oh,
in
yeah.
Lyon. So, what is the life in Lyon? Because you're just a newbie in here. How long have you been here in Lyon?
I moved into an Airbnb. Well, not moved into an Airbnb. February
Okay.
12th.
Okay.
12 février.
Yeah, 12 février. Take some
And
water. Take some
I know
water.
I'm like, and then I ended up getting a studio
Okay.
because I have a friend in the countryside who
Yes.
has a son-in-law who owns a place here
Okay.
and was kind enough to rent it to me. And the decision to start all over is very scary, and I understand why no one would ever want to leave everything they know to go into a space that they've only dreamt of. But I'm very stubborn and persistent. And I told myself, if I'm going to move here, I need to work my ass off to make as many connections with people, not just in a work setting, but like community.
Yes.
I know French culture is very different from American culture.
True.
America has the reputation of being, who are you? What's your name?
True.
And being super happy and huggy. And you know what? I need that.
You missed that.
I miss hugs. I miss talking to complete strangers and knowing I will never see them again.
Yes.
And it's an adjustment, but I've met some really cool people in ways of thinking I'm going to go to a conference. So now I'm here. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know.
It's the early process, actually.
It is. It's the beginning. It's the building. It's the foundation. And it's scary to take such a big risk, but what else am I going to do? just stay safe, constantly dreaming about the things I want to do
And regret.
and regret.
Mm-mm.
And not even just regret, but live in that constant state of fantasy,
Mm-hmm.
thinking, oh, well, I could be, if I were in New York, I would be doing this, this, and this. And you know what? I moved to New York.
Okay.
I wanted to live in New York for a long time,
Mm-hmm.
and an opportunity opened up.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't an opportunity I would have wanted, but it was enough for me to say, I'm going to take the leap. An opportunity opened up for me to live in LA, and I
Okay.
never wanted to live there, and I did, and it was an experience.
True.
My family's from there.
Mm-hmm.
I have new friends now that live there. And then an opportunity opened up for me to move to France.
Okay.
And that's been on my bucket list for
Okay.
20 years.
Mm-hmm.
And I just said yes.
All right.
Yeah.
But you're already familiar to France. Like I know that you travel a little bit in the countryside. Or you have seen some cities. You have some friends in here. So that's great. Just for the still the beginning of a little interview. For people who don't know you yet, because this is a new beginning and starting over. I wanted to begin with a few sounds from your discography,
Oh, nice.
because you're here, you're not slacking off. You're already working on a new project. Um, you told me off record that it was for you personally your best
Yeah.
record, uh, at least the record that you're the most proud of. So just let's take some little throwback. Uh, let's take
A walk down
a
memory
walk down
lane.
memory lane. Thank
Ouais.
you. And your very first album, it was like just 10 years ago,
Ouais.
exactly. Time flies, right? Um, Titled "There's a Light," and we can maybe hear one of the most popular song, "Empty Me Out." So, gonna take you a little way back.
Empty me out. Fill me with you. Lord, there is nothing I can give to you.
That's so
I lay down my life here at your feet. You give me life so completely. Now I died with you, was buried with you the moment I lay. And I rose with you, ascended with you to the heavens.
So that was "Empty Me Out," and a really beautiful song. Takes you back the roots of soul music. So this is like a first glance of who is Liz Weiss, like who was Liz Weiss. A lot of things have changed in 10 years, I guess. One question is how do you see yourself grow from 2015 to this day now? To this day now, sorry. Like, how much have you grown? Have you changed? Because you're into a new beginning now, into a new transformation, like a butterfly, if I'd say. So, what has changed? How much have you grown as a person and as a musician?
Well, when I listened to this record, I just remember how insecure and how nervous I was recording because this was my first time
Yeah.
singing like this.
Okay.
I mean, I grew up in church where we would sing out of hymn books,
Mm-hmm.
but being in music was never part of my plan. I wanted
Yeah,
to
I
be an
remember that.
actress, but then,
Oh, really?
oh yeah. But then
Okay.
I didn't really see a lot of roles
Mm,
for Black women that was something I wanted to be a part of. I
okay.
didn't want to be in a slave movie.
I get it.
I didn't want to be in a movie about the hood. I didn't want to be a teen
Mm,
mom or something about
yes.
struggle. And yes, I
Mm,
grew up in very difficult home life at times,
okay.
but I didn't want that to be the beginning and end of my story.
Mm. What would be the ideal? What type of role would you, searching?
Honestly, I have no idea because
Mm,
now that I think about it, if to be an actress or an actor, I just feel like you have to step outside of the limitations you have on yourself
okay.
to completely embody another character
Mm-hmm.
that is believable.
Okay. True.
And I'm still too shy.
All right. All right.
But I would give it a try. But in this time, I had just graduated from film school.
Okay.
I
Right.
wanted to write the movies and make the movies
Mm,
that I wanted to see myself in. And I think now we have the Ava DuVernays and the Jordan Peels and the Ryan Coogly. Sorry, guys.
it's been a
Um,
long time.
yeah, I just watched Sinners yesterday or the day
All
before.
right. Okay.
So good. And I think that they're doing a really incredible job.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, I had some health issues when I was younger.
Okay.
Didn't think I would live long enough to even make it to that
All right.
point. And then
Okay.
to be recording a record, I did it because why not? Pourquoi pas?
Okay.
Someone asked if I wanted to sing on a record. They said I had a beautiful voice
Mm-hmm.
and I wanted to prove them wrong
Okay. But.
and also see what this is all about.
Mm-hmm.
And that record put me into a position of constantly living an unstable life,
Okay.
constantly
Yeah.
taking these massive leaps of faith,
Yep.
working with new people.
Mm-mm.
I immersed myself in church to keep me safe, but then I was being brought into places that didn't feel safe, and I
Okay.
felt like I saw an even bigger message of Jesus.
Mm-hmm.
And even though wouldn't say I'm the same person as I was,
Yes.
taking me out of the four walls has allowed me
Mm.
to become more compassionate,
Okay.
has allowed me to um, befriend more people,
Mm.
to have more room for love,
Mm.
and to be more upset about injustices that have
Mm.
happened in this world. Um,
Okay.
and
So let it go. Let go of the things.
yeah, let
Okay.
go of the things and the box
Mm-hmm.
that
Okay.
and the circle I drew around myself
All
that
right.
I felt like it kept me safe.
Mm.
And then the circle just got smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller. And
Mm.
then my feet weren't in the circle anymore. And it feels very scary being so vulnerable
Okay.
and porous and living in the present.
Mm.
And yet, here I am.
So finally, you said that starting over was a scary thing to do,
Mm.
but the scariest thing finally is to stay behind a
What?
closed door behind a golden cage.
Yeah.
Actually, so this led you, sorry, to grow a little bit more, to find truth in Jesus, in your faith, and to release the second album called Save Me.
What?
Brick by brick, you understood all the things that you had to let go.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe we can hear another extract. I'm going to discover one of them. Obviously, I've listened to a few of them, but I wanted to discover the finished track. Where can I go? Because
That's such a good story, though,
oh,
of how
okay,
it came to be.
2018. Let's see, and then we're gonna have the lower behind it. Let's see it.
Where can I go to run from you?
break. But here we are. Baby, hold on.
If you lose your way, I will be your guide. And
I love the drum.
if you can't stand no more, I will always be by your side. 'Cause I promise, promise, promise it'll be better. And if it don't, we're in this together. And I never, 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 never want you to worry. Oh, don't you worry, baby, hold on. 'Cause I know you're tired.
Gospel.
Yeah.
That's the gospel. No, but true story though, because you know, in France, people love the gospel, but just for the sound of it, and not enough for the culture of it and for the faith in it. So I can say that it really carried you. When you tell me that you had some dark moments, you didn't know if you was about to make it in life, like literally, and you did it just by faith, just not knowing what was forthcoming. That's tough. That's a great story, really inspiring, and really, you know. So, what was the story behind Baby Hold On? You said there was a great story, and yeah.
There's one behind Baby Hold On and Where Can I Go?
Yeah.
But Baby Hold On, I remember writing that being on tour
All right.
because music opened up and I felt I was questioning, do I do this because other people said that I have a gift? Because I don't think I want to do this.
Okay. Yeah.
But I'm curious. And I went on my first tour and it was awful. My management was not helpful.
All right.
And as much as I don't want to say that, it was a really horrible experience for me, but I felt obligated to stay with them because I felt they knew more of the industry, that they reached out to me, so they must be sent from God, and that I'm singing the gospel in places where people said I would never go to church, but atheists are telling me that they connect to my message. And I remember on tour, my drummer's mom was suddenly hospitalized.
Okay. Wow.
And I had to find another drummer to take his place, and it was going to cost me thousands of extra dollars to pay for this. And I'm paying for everything out of pocket. There is no label behind me. Money that I saved up to shoot a short film was the money that I used to go on my first tour. So something that I actually had a dream for to make a short movie was being poured into something that I had no dream for, but I had a draw to. And I felt stupid because people are like, you don't have to do this if you don't want to. But I felt like I had to do it.
Okay.
And as my drummer is being dropped off at the airport for an emergency and his mom ended up passing away, I fell down the stairs and broke my toe.
Okay.
And there was blood behind me, so it like ripped the pinky toe.
Pain over pain.
And I couldn't even cry because I was so angry and tired and exhausted. And I'm like, I told you I'm not strong enough for this. This is not what I want to do. You have the wrong person. Just talking to God in a corner. Like, you have the wrong person. I cannot do this. I don't want to do this. And I end up going to the hospital. The people are so rude to me. I end up wrapping my toe.
Wow.
And the whole time,
For real?
my management is saying, are you going to make it to the show? Are you going to make it to the show? I got in a car wreck. And they're like, but are you going to make it to the show once? And I just am so stubborn that I put my foot up on the dashboard in the vehicle with pain pills in my system, like, let's go. And we drove up to the venue. And there was a crazy thunder and lightning storm. Didn't even know if I'd be able to play the show. And it was one of the most amazing experiences I ever had. With my foot on the speaker.
How come?
Because people were just so happy.
Okay.
People were dancing. My pianist was having a great time. My drummer was so amazing and so talented. And I'm just like hopped up on pain meds with my foot on the wedge, like, I know you're tired.
Wow.
And just singing these words over myself. And even to this day, 10 years later, I'm like, why do I keep doing this? And it feels like I know I can say no, but I'm so curious about what would it look like to go one more day. And so that baby, hold on, it was me like soothing myself. I know you're tired. Damn, this day's long. I know it's hard. Baby, hold on.
I can relate actually. You know, when you start a company, for example, or a media like me on your own, and every day you see other people living in comfort and
buying houses.
Yeah, houses, kids, and stuff,
getting
and
married.
They must have the good part. They must be in the good place, and you wish you could be like them, but you always have a little thought that says, "What if? What if you really stop? Won't you miss the feeling? Won't you miss the dream to fulfill or something like this, something like that?" So out of curiosity, out of it's no question, but I can relate. I definitely can relate.
Yeah, and it is hard to see people that I started music with who are now buying their second cars or they're touring all the time and they're playing the TV shows and they're going to the award shows and I'm still making my own newsletters. And I'm not doing it for fame. It's like I'm doing this so that all that hard work wasn't done in vain.
True.
And because of glimpses of absolute joy I've experienced through other people, the stories that people have told me. I met a woman who had gotten into a car accident and she couldn't walk for a year. And she told me all I wanted to do was dance again. And she was dancing in the front row at one of my shows with her sons. And I'm like, how could I? That's so beautiful.
Talk about it.
It's so beautiful.
So there's the impact that you can have on the people, either good or bad, that influence your choices and your acts actually. Either sometimes when I talk to myself and try to understand why musicians are musicians, and when I'm hard to myself, I say like I'm a people pleaser. I don't want to make people angry because of me or bad because of me. Anything get to be just equal and fine, and so you put your life, you put yourself in the last position sometimes, and sometimes it can be confusing. So maybe I don't know if you were feeling that way around these years, but I'm glad um, that you finally take another step, take another leap to experience some new kind of freedom and be a little selfish, be a little unapologetic,
Right.
and. Is that what you're trying to express with your upcoming music with Woman, for example?
100%.
100%.
100%.
All right.
Because I am a middle child.
Okay. See?
Middle of 5.
Okay.
And I don't want to be a troublemaker. I want everyone to be at peace. I want people to like me. I want, when people see me, I want them to say, Liz, we love Liz. And I had that because I was a people pleaser. Because I said yes to everything, even though I was exhausted or didn't have the money. Because I didn't want people to be angry with me. And even for my song Never Been the Same, I ended up changing the lyrics, and that's a whole story. But I rewrote those lyrics in like 15 minutes because I was so angry. And it was because I was feeling guilty about something that I shouldn't have felt guilty for. And so that's why I wrote, when I was young, I didn't know better. Thought playing small and weak was doing myself a favor. And I was afraid to leave behind who I was. Then I fell in love with myself, was in love with myself. And my whole world was rearranged. Ooh, and I've never been the same. I remember when I moved to New York, I'm no longer friends with this woman, but she was so angry I was moving because she felt like I was abandoning her. And so for so long, I would stay in friendships because I didn't want the person to feel abandoned because so many other people left their lives, which probably should have been a sign that I should have been gone. But I didn't want them.
That's true, though.
I didn't want them to feel the loneliness that I have felt in my life. I didn't want them to feel the pain that I felt growing up as a little poor Black girl in Portland, surrounded by all white people. Feeling like I don't want them to think I'm angry. I don't want to take up too much space. I'm a tall woman. So men were really insecure. And I was like, maybe I should play small and then a guy will like me. Because some men want easy.
You gotta strategize how you behave.
Yeah. But it's an act that I would never be able to keep up because it would come out eventually. I would be so resentful and mean towards them. I guess no, so. You pick it up.
What I'm putting down.
Yeah. And I just felt like I was starting to hate my life because I wasn't living for myself. And as someone of faith, you have the sermons of be a living sacrifice. But I was setting myself on fire to keep other people warm.
Oof.
And I was miserable. I hated that I was still alive. I hated that I would work with people who would belittle me or have some kind of stereotype of what a Black woman would sound like singing. And then I felt like I was just mimicking whatever image they had of me instead of being myself. And it made me resent them. And even this year, I had to sit down and say, why do I resent music so much? Why am I so hesitant to do this? And it's because I felt like a puppet in the beginning. I felt like even though I had this record, my first record was written for me, I wasn't allowed to sing certain songs in church because it wasn't congregational enough. So even still, it was sing these songs. I'm going to tell everyone I wrote this record for you, but your musicians are overplaying. They're overpowering you. You're not singing enough. You're not dancing enough on stage. I'm a shy person. It may not come off that way, but I don't want to be on stage. I'm a middle child. I was in the basement for hours singing and dancing around by myself. So to then be on stage and feel naked in front of complete strangers to entertain them while some are yawning or talking in the back, it's a very vulnerable thing to do.
True.
But I also love the power of opening my mouth and everyone standing still.
In silence.
And that is powerful to me.
Too.
And I always say, queens don't scream. I don't need to yell. I don't need to repeat myself.
I keep that one.
Yeah. Queens don't scream. And I'm not going to yell across the room. I'm not going to be a squeaky wheel so that you believe me when I say I'm in pain. You either do or you don't, and I move on. I will dust off my shoes and take my blessing with me and move on.
That's tough. Is this what is this what you're portraying? Is this the rendition that you're giving in Single Woman?
Man, Woman is, yeah. Especially the first verse. I'm like, how does the first verse go? Yes, listen to this.
Listen to this.
Yeah. I mean, my band was so tight, though. Very fortunate.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about the band.
Oh, woman, why is your soul downcast, oh? When strength and dignity are what you clothe, more precious than the jewels that wet your door. Woman,
Black licorice.
don't you know? Wisdom howling in the night. I'm telling you. I'm telling you.
Tell me.
Woo!
Okay, thanks for the band. So you produced this. You wrote the whole thing as well.
I wrote it with another woman,
All
and
right.
I'm not trying to blast her information,
Mhm.
but it was during a very difficult moment in her life.
All right.
And again, talking about insecurities of growing up as a black woman in an all-white city, mostly all white. I mean, they have black people in Portland. What represent? My family's there.
Gonna show up.
Jacqueline's there.
Gonna show up and show off.
Whoop whoop. We here. I kept comparing myself to images of women that I would never look like.
Mm.
To voices of women I would never have.
Okay.
I'm not gonna have a high voice like that. I have a commanding voice, and I love my deep voice.
Mm-hmm.
And
Chest.
I wanted to remind women that, like, you're dressed in dignity and strength. Like, it doesn't matter. I have seen the most dressed up women. I've been around the most wealthiest people who are effed up.
True.
There's a lot. One day I'm gonna write a book, but I gotta wait for a lot of people to
All
die
right.
before I release.
Oh, you be in trouble.
It'll be like, open the doors. Yeah. I can't
But this is
disclose. But
money F you up. That's right. That's right.
I mean, I would love to try being rich. I know money can't buy happiness, but I would like to try just to see.
Mm-hmm.
It would make things a lot easier in a way. But
Freedom,
it would give you a lot of freedom. And I would take money now, not as a child. So, I'm ready. But I also have everything I need. Even though I'm not making consistent money and I haven't, like, worked in a very long time, I have been able to live off of very little, and I have everything that I need. But I wanted, instead of all the external, I needed to go within and say, girl, like, don't let the way someone feels about you, who doesn't even know your heart, dictate how you see yourself. This is a long journey that I'm on, that I'm embarking. It's like the image of a caterpillar. And let's say I've transformed, and parts of me just wants to put a little trench coat on so the other caterpillars don't see my wings and see that I'm different, because I'm used to eating leaves every day. I'm used to, I'm like a butterfly trying to crawl on my stomach, but I've outgrown certain spaces, and it's scary. And certain friends don't want you to not be around them. And I know it's scary for them to see their friend changing, but it's just a part of growth. It sucks, but it is necessary. And I understand why people don't want to do it. But I'm too stubborn. I have to. I'm afraid to fly, but I have to use my wings.
And you're self-aware, actually. This is self-awareness, and, it's not really being, like, stubborn is not necessarily the right word, I think, in this case. It's just, being self-aware and self-conscious of what you are, what you are capable of. And off record, we talked about Kendrick Lamar once again.
Yes.
I talk about it in
Every
every
interview.
every interview. But as you spoke about the butterfly and the caterpillar, this is really the allegory of the butterfly and caterpillar in his album To Pimp a Butterfly.
Oh.
Pimp their identity. And what really struck me was the fact that the caterpillar resents and is jealous of the butterfly, but
Mm.
doesn't know or ignores the fact that he's the same, like
Mm-hmm.
they are one person. So it's kind of ironic to protect yourself from yourself, or to protect yourself from people who look actually like you.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Powerful stuff. Can you tell me a little bit of the philosophy about the lore behind the whole concept album, the call that is
Mm.
about to be released in like 15 days, I think, in 2 weeks? Uh, we have the counting days on Spotify.
Yeah.
So yeah, on June 20th. So what's the philosophy behind the call? What is the least vice that we are gonna experiment in this album?
So the song itself, the call,
Mm.
I'm such an artist. Just like, why am I doing this? The call is basically my story
Mm.
of stepping into music.
Mm.
I use a lot of biblical references.
True.
It's the story of Samuel and Eli. Is that the story where Samuel is asleep and the angel of
Yeah,
the
yeah,
Lord
yeah,
is
yeah, yeah.
says his name and
Mm-mm.
he comes out
Yeah, you
and
call me a master. Yeah.
and then
Mm-mm.
Eli's like, "What? I didn't call you. Go back to sleep." And then Samuel's asleep and
Oh,
he
such a
hears the
beautiful
voice
story.
Samuel, and
Mm.
then he goes back out and Eli's like, "What? Go back to sleep." And I think it might have been the third time where Eli's like, "Oh, it's something bigger.
That's good. Mm.
Next time you hear your name, say, 'Here I am. Your servant is listening.'" And that's the call. It's like, "Heard my name in a
The third time,
whisper through
third
the
album.
stillness of the night. I've
Mm.
been called into a battle. Don't think I'm strong enough to fight.
Mm-hmm.
But the call draws me to you, and this fire flows through my bones."
Mm.
Where it's like that verse, it's like a fire shut up in my bones that is
Mm.
so powerful. If I don't release it, it will consume me.
But but so it could be scary, but this shuts down every fear, because when you don't like feel like you can win the next battle, when you start over, His grace, His strength, His voice is showing you the way, and that's deep.
I mean, even you saying, "Yeah, you made a third record." I'm like, I didn't even think about it. It's the third record. It's the third
Mm.
release
Mm.
these words,
Mm.
Liz. And I'm like, fine. You
Mm.
want me to make another record? I'm putting my heart and
Mm.
soul in this.
Mm.
I am working with a producer that will respect me and that is excited.
Mm.
And the person who showed up was Tim LaFay. And I met him one time a
Mhm.
year before and everyone was talking about Tim and I'm like I'm not like a musician where they have that drummer on this song and they use this microphone. I don't know that stuff.
Yeah.
But Tim asked me to sing this jazz song that I learned on the spot and he's like, "Oh, you really remind me of Rachel." I didn't know who he was talking about. Turns out Tim is like produced a record with David Bowie, toured
Mm.
with
Okay.
John Mayer and a bunch of other artists. He's
Mhm.
still touring. He's such an incredible bass player. I think he
Okay.
has an incredible heart. And I have never felt so empowered as I did working in the
Right.
studio with those musicians in
Uh-huh.
Munich, where they listened to my ideas,
Mm.
where I never felt small,
Mm.
where I would try something and they're like, I don't know how that's going to work. And then I was like, can we just do
Mm.
this and then have this happen?
Collaborate. Mm.
And then we would try it and they're like, whoa. I'm like, I know.
Love it.
Where
Love it.
I sang in ranges that I've never sang on other records
Mm.
because I was singing for other people.
Mm. 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 But um, it's really communicating, because when I pushed play on your debut album, 2015, I could hear and feel the shyness and the okay, this is my first time. Uh, I'm giving you soul music. All right,
Yeah, and then I'm leaving and I'm gonna go back and work on film
bye bye.
sets.
You
Yeah,
know.
bye bye.
Then second album, okay, so I've done this before. I can do this. I can try. You know what they like in 2018, 2017. Okay, but it's still a challenge. I'm still doing tryouts. But when I'm listening to Woman, when I'm listening to Never Been the Same, I can feel that you want to say something,
Mm,
and you're a little bit more confident. So you telling me this is a kind of a confirmation
mm-hmm.
of this feeling. So yeah,
That's amazing.
congratulations,
Thanks. I'm
because it's
like,
been
I'm
a
so
long way.
tired.
It's been a long walk.
Yeah, a long journey,
Mm,
literally across. The fact that sometimes I'm like, I cannot believe I live here. This is something that I
mm,
wrote on a piece of paper 20 years ago that I wanted to do. To
mm,
make my record, I put everything I owned in a
mm,
storage unit and lived out of a suitcase for 3.5 years,
mm,
traveling the world. And people opened their homes to me to let me live with them
mm,
while I wrote a record. I wrote my record in coffee shops. I wrote
mm,
my record in pubs. I first started writing in uh, June of 2023 in a really amazing cafe in London called The Lazy Chef.
okay,
And my friend was working
the
on
lazy chef.
film stuff. And I thought, oh, let me try to resuscitate some. I wanted to work on a script,
Mm-hmm.
but then I needed to just do something for a creative outlet. And I just was struck with, let's start rewriting these
Okay,
words.
okay,
And the call, I wrote that song so many years ago,
okay.
but I wasn't ready to
To
sing it.
perform it, okay.
It wasn't ready to be born.
Mm.
It's still a caterpillar. And the funny thing is I hate butterflies. Sorry
Yeah.
guys. I think it's so they creep me out. I know why, but I've had many dreams about them.
Okay.
And most recently I had a dream 3 weeks ago to where I wasn't trying to kill the butterfly, but I was trying to guide it out of my room, and it still folded itself around my hands. Um, but I'm just like, okay, I'm not a big fan of butterflies, but
Mm,
I'm gonna take this metaphor,
mm,
and can you imagine being a caterpillar and you don't know that you have the makings of wings
mm.
in yourself? You don't know that,
True.
but they're in there. If you cut open a caterpillar, you will see the soft bones of wings in a caterpillar.
You just eat all day without knowing your full
You just
potential.
like leaves.
Mm,
Then you go into a cocoon
mm.
and you melt. You crack open a cocoon
Okay.
and it's just goo.
Okay.
It's just liquid.
You.
And then you peel out of this thing and you're something new,
Mm,
but still have memories of the old life, but it's more faint. And for me, it's really scary to let myself become new,
mm,
because what I know is comfortable, even if it keeps me a certain way. I know that I don't know where this is going. I don't know where I'm flying to. I don't know how this record would be received. Do I just make this record for the sake of art, or should I be excited about possibilities of things opening up, opening myself up to making new friends?
you another you. That's funny because I was thinking of a kind of a pun with the you, because you say when you're in the cocoon it's like all disgusting, like you, but it's you, and it's really the ugly part of you that you're getting aware of,
Mm-hmm.
and um, going from going to a new yourself. It's like you're not the you that you used to be, like the new. Anyway, I'm gonna
I
you know.
know, I know, I know. That's how I think every day. I'm like, and then
Okay,
you're a butterfly. And
I'm
you're
not the only
like,
one crazy though. But talking about new, in this new album, there's a funny thing I've just picked out, is that in your album Save Me, the album finishes with Where Can I Go?
mm-hmm.
And in the call, the album finish was with No Way I Can Go.
There's nowhere I can
Was that
go.
intended?
Yes.
Okay, why so?
Because where can I go? Okay, number one,
Mm.
the where can I go to run from you? I have a voice recording of myself waking up from a dream singing that.
All right. Okay.
And I roll over in bed and I'm like, where can where can I go? And then I'ma go spread my wings, I'ma go fly so
Okay.
high. I started singing that in
Mm-hmm.
the back of a friend's car after I
Mm.
found out I was going to move to New York City. And
Okay.
I
So
was
the
like,
excitement.
I'ma go spread my wings.
The
And
Backstreet's freestyle.
and I wanted to put a physical dream
Mm-hmm.
that I had, where can I go? And a dream that I wrote on a piece of paper
Mm-hmm.
in one.
Okay.
That the things that are in my mind of my possibilities can actually happen. And then
Visualization.
the nowhere I can go, because I found God everywhere. I found God in people. I
Mm-hmm.
found God in people that I was told God isn't.
Mm.
I found God in spaces that were outside of a church,
True.
just staring at mountains.
Mm.
I found God in a pub talking to complete strangers,
Mm-hmm.
or people opening their homes to me, or
Mm.
people extending kindness. And I found God in myself, learning how to trust my voice instead of believing that what I feel and think don't matter.
Mm.
And I can have, if I live too far in the future, it's the apocalypse. It's absolutely scary. I can think of the worst case scenarios.
Mm.
If I am too
Anxiety.
far in the past, that's the caterpillar trying to find
Mm.
its way back into
Mm.
existing.
Yeah.
And so I have to constantly tell myself, breathe. Are you breathing? Are you holding your breath? Breathe,
Mm.
breathe. And in that breath is God.
Breathe and stop. Breathe
Just
and stop.
be
Mm.
here. I have my
That's the
own.
hardest part.
It's so hard.
The hardest part.
And it's hard when you tell other people who are incapable of having that peace as well, where I'm already doubting myself. And then someone says, oh, it's really impossible to do this and that. And then I'm like, it is really impossible. I knew it. But for my record, the men that I use my savings.
Mm.
There is no retirement fund for me. But
Okay.
I really felt strong about this. And then I wanted to be able to have someone mix and master it. And so I did a Kickstarter
Mm-hmm.
and raised over $25,000
Congratulations.
in 18 days.
That's tough.
And I'm like,
That's
who are these
business.
people?
That's business.
And
Mm-mm.
that's people who I don't know that I'm impacting. I can't even say me. Well, yeah, I'm being used to impact these people in ways that even surprise me. It's such an out of body experience.
It's your impact. It's what you bring to them. The value plus. I think there's a little bit of because of who you are as
Yeah.
well. But that's what that's like what you said in the interview like 9 years ago when you were talking about tour management and being a traveling musician. We won't have enough time, but there were so many more questions I wanted to ask, like being a musician and what you taught to kids, because I've seen your little video on teaching kids how to be a musician and stuff like this. But to go back on this interview 9 years ago, you said um, you you get your riches by what people by the people that goes in your life in your gigs, and not from a label or not from something. So I think that's for an independent musician, that stuff that's a great value, a great asset, and what can I say?
Yeah.
Mm, mm, mm,
I mean, I just performed for my friend's birthday in New
mm,
York, and it wasn't paid. And I did it because I love her. And
mm.
also, Spotify, you need to hook me up.
Mm.
Um, And I was so nervous and just thinking, oh, I just don't know if I want to do this. And it was the people. Oh my gosh. They showed up because they wanted to have fun. They were singing with me. I'm singing Pink Pony Club. And everyone's singing, and there's balloons. And my friend is getting on stage and singing with me. And my friend in the corner is with the tambourine. And someone else has the shaker. And I'm like, for this moment, we're not thinking about climate change. We're not thinking about all the genocides and wars that are happening. And that's a privilege. And we just get to have this moment of fun. Because life is so unbearable sometimes. And I know it's a blessing, blah, blah, blah. We all know that. And for 3 hours, we got to dance. We got to eat good food. We got to celebrate someone's life. I got to see my friend be so loved on. And I love that people had fun singing with me.
We're going to dance some more because you just told me Africa that you're preparing yourself for a next gig in a few days. So you're going, where are you playing? What are you playing?
I'm playing in Silver. I'm playing a private event.
Private event. Okay.
Ouais.
Well, that's great too.
Ouais.
That's great
so
too.
I'm playing a private event. And then for the first time, I get to be in Portland with friends and family to celebrate a song release.
Oh, great.
Because when I released my second record, I remember sitting at my kitchen table eating a bowl of pasta, crying. And I had just had someone call and say, you're going to place on the billboards next week. And I had no one to celebrate with. And I felt I should have been so happy that my record's going to be on the Billboard charts. And it was independently released, no label. Incredible. But I didn't care because I didn't have my people to celebrate with. And so now I'm going to release my record with close friends and family, where I get to say, I know I'm going to cry my eyes out because I'm so tired. And it's been so much work and so much sacrifice.
Emotion blast.
And I just want to finish watching Handmaid's Tales.
But this story reminds me of a Mali music song. Can't remember the title, but he said it gets cold at the top when you're alone. So anyway, thank you for your time. Congratulations on your releases.
Merci.
On your past success. Maybe next time we can dive a little bit more into the how you manage the business as a musician.
Oh Lord.
So all this stuff, but it's just a nice way to link up, to get to know you a little bit more. Welcome in France, in Lyon.
Merci.
Once again, bienvenue ici. Et ouais, peut-être qu'on peut se réécouter encore un petit extrait de Woman pour finir le show. Et merci Omar au cadrage, à la lumière et tout. Et c'était un nouvel épisode de Memory Lane. Let's get this. Boomer! Il sait plus comment sortir de la chose. Ah, tranquille. Ouais, la petite croix. Je voulais faire ça après. Anyway, bye bye.
Thank you.
She's calling, listen to her cry.